What's up everybody, it's Sean here, and I'm here today to give you guys a review of the Dime collaboration with Asics on the GT-2160 in this Arctic Wolf colorway. So we know how popular running shoes from the 2000s and 2010s are these days, and we've seen a bit of a resurgence with Asics, with models for example like the Gel Kayano 14 becoming very popular. So this is another example of a running shoe from that era that's now being adopted for casual use. So this is a collaboration with Montreal-based skatewear brand Dime, and they released their take on the GT-2160, which is a running shoe that released back originally in 2011, I believe. And this is part of Asics' iconic GT-2000 running shoe line. So for this collaboration, they initially released on Dime's website, but then there was a follow-up wider release on July 22nd, which is today, and they retailed for a price of $160 US or $230 here in Canada. The official colorway for this shoe is Arctic Wolf and London Fog, and this shoe is pretty in demand. They pretty much sold out everywhere right away, and even in some shops that released both this and the UNC Toe Jordan 1, it was this shoe that sold out faster, which is honestly pretty hard to believe. Who would have thought an Asics running shoe from the 2000 era would be selling out faster than a Jordan 1? But that's the reality of sneakers these days, and people's preferences and their styles are being shown with their wallets and what sells out first. So first things first, here's a quick look at the box. So this comes in a custom box just for this release, featuring this intricate graphic on the top and the side, with Asics and Dime co-branding on the very top, and Asics branding alone on the side. So diving into the details of this shoe, the base layer of the sneaker is constructed out of mesh. Right above this we have this synthetic leather layer with the Asics branding done in silver, and then we have more synthetic leather overlays on the sides of the toe box, and there's also a reflective 3M hit on the medial edge. Surrounding the front toe cap, we have another layer of shiny synthetic leather with silver colored detailing, and these synthetic layers cover the eyelets of the shoe, and it also forms the iconic Asics stripes, which are found on both mid panels of the shoe. Underneath this, you'll see the mesh is done in this gradient style, which I thought was really dope. So it transitions from white on the toe box to a light gray tone towards the heel. Overlaid on top of the heel, we have more synthetic leather overlays, and here we have GT-2160 branding, and underneath this, pressed onto the mesh, we have the Dime word mark. And then on the heel of the shoe on the bottom, we have this synthetic leather layer, and then in the middle of the heel, we have this 3D puffy gel branding, which puffs out and you can actually squeeze, and then we have more mesh on the very top of the heel. In terms of laces, so these only come with one lace option, and they're an oval shaped lace done in this cream color. Underneath this, the tongue is also constructed out of mesh, and it's also done in that same gradient style. And then on the top of the tongue, we have this puffy U-shaped overlay featuring Asics branding on the right foot and Dime branding found on the left foot. The back of the tongue and the interior of the shoe, this is lined in a white colored lining, and there's an adequate amount of cushioning surrounding this back collar area. And then as far as the insoles go, so these come with a very well padded foam lined insole, and then pressed onto the right insole, we have both Dime and Asics co-branding. So the upper of the GT-2160, at least for the OGs from 2011, those were crafted using Asics Soul Light technology. So this is basically a lighter weight version of EVA, but based off of Asics' website, they don't mention Soul Light whatsoever. So I'm not 100% sure if they utilize that for this retro version. However, you can see that the midsole is done also in a gradient style, going from a darker shade on the tip of the toe, and then it transitions to more of a cream shade towards the heel. And I know the OGs also utilize dual max technology, which is basically a dual density foam setup where they inject a firmer foam on this medial edge right here to give more support and prevent those that overpronate or basically roll their heel inwards when they walk or run. So again, there's no mention of dual max on Asics' website, so I'm guessing it's not included for the retro version. But regardless, incorporated within this midsole, we have Asics gel technology underneath the forefoot as well as underneath the heel too, and the gel units on the heel are visible from both the lateral side as well as the back. Finally, turning this pair over to the bottom, so this outsole is crafted using a mix of gray and cream colored rubber. So we have these grooves on the forefoot, along with this guidance line that you can see visible on the forefoot as well. And this gives you added flexibility and gives you more efficiency on your strides. And then in the middle, we have Asics Trussic system, which essentially is a TPU shank plate, which helps with torsional rigidity and midfoot support. So that breaks down the look and the construction of this pair. And for those wondering about sizing, my foot measures as a true size 10, slightly on the wider side. I got these in a size 10 and they fit me perfectly. I felt like the shoe was pretty decently wide foot friendly. So if you look at it from a top down perspective, it actually extends quite a bit on the lateral side right here. So I didn't feel any pinching whatsoever on my foot. And initially when I tried them on, I thought that they ran a little bit short, so there was just under an index finger's width between the top of the toe and the top of my shoe. But once I wore these in, I wore these for about 3 or 4 hours. Maybe it's because this collar area molded to my foot, which allowed my foot to sit a little bit more back, but eventually I didn't feel like it was snug lengthwise whatsoever. So whatever size you normally go for, I'd stick with that exact same size for this pair and you should be okay. Moving on to the comfort, so this shoe is a decently comfortable shoe, and I feel like it gives you a good balance of softness and support. It's not going to be the most cushioned and the most pillowy shoe underfoot, but you can definitely feel there's some level of cushioning, even though I feel like for a running shoe, it might be even a little bit more on the firmer side. However, just wearing these casually, I wore these for a few hours, walking around my city, and I really had no complaints about this shoe. It was decently lightweight, I felt quite supported, especially underneath the heel, so I'd say that the comfort of the shoe is pretty solid. So material quality wise, this is nothing special. Keep in mind though that this was originally released as a performance running shoe from 2011, so it makes sense why it's predominantly constructed out of synthetic materials. It's going to give you more longevity, more durability. So if you're expecting very high quality or at least genuine leathers on this shoe, then you might be disappointed with these. But if you have your expectations in line with what this shoe really is at the end of the day, then I think you'll be all right. And from a build and craftsmanship standpoint, I thought this pair was pretty much flawless. The stitch job was good, the panels were cut in place consistently. I also thought the paint job on the midsole with the gradient, this was done really well. So at least from that standpoint, I had no complaints even though the material quality wasn't the best. So with all that out of the way now, let's toss these on feet. I'll lace them up for you and I'll show you guys how these look. All in all, I like the changes that Dime infused on this GT-2160. Specifically, I really like the whole gradient look of this shoe, both with the mesh and the midsole. It really turns this classic running shoe from 2011 and gives it a unique spin, making it a shoe, at least for me, one that I feel is easier to rock casually. I also really like the tones of this shoe, with the whites, the creams, and the grays. It's a pretty easy shoe to match with whatever outfit you want to wear. So I think this is a clear winner in my eyes, so kudos to Dime and kudos to Asics for a job well done. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about this pair? For those watching, did you also pick up a pair of these? Did you take an L? Are you paying resale for these? Let me know your thoughts down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can follow me on Instagram at esco8, follow my Twitter account at sean.go, and visit my website at seango.ca. So until next time, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review and hopefully it helped you in some way. Appreciate the continued love and support, and I'll catch you guys all in my next review.